Miss Sheldon! Miss Sheldon! I know you're up there. Come on down, you old bag. I want to talk to you. I'll tell you something. We're fed up with you snitching and snooping. We're not standing for it, you hear? It's time someone taught you a lesson, teacher.
Ken?
You're late.
I am. Oh, for me.
With lemon, without ice.
Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers.
I needed that. Since about 2:30.
Hard day at the office?
Very hard. 50 more redundancies.
How many's that, mate?
Too many.
Must change. People always got to wear shoes.
Shoes, yes. British shoes, no. We're pricing ourselves out of the business. The Czechs are making the same products as us at about 1/3 of the cost. Men with a wife, 2 kids, mortgages. I just jump in my car and hope I'm not going to meet any of them.
It's not your fault, love. Oh, I've got to go.
What time are you off tonight?
10.
Can you call round?
Sure.
I want to talk to you, Ken.
Not at all. You can talk now.
No.
Has he gone?
Over an hour ago.
So, what's new?
Ken Ridgway's aftershave?
So there is something on then, eh?
Yeah, looks like it.
Hey, poor old Brenda. It's like been dropped before you've had a chance to show what you can do, isn't it?
Ah, she thinks she's done that all right. You see my dictionary?
No.
It's taken a walk.
Since when?
Oh, since Smithy had that kid swear an oath over it.
It's better than the magistrates at Nemborough. Last time I was there, they used the cookery book instead of the Koran.
You're kidding.
Hang on a minute, me duck. Let's calm it down. Now, he did what with the hosepipe? All right, yeah, I'll get somebody out there. Let's have your name and address. Sheldon, yeah. Yeah. Yep. Right, it won't be more than a couple of minutes, Mrs. Oh, Miss Sheldon. Right. Pull you upstairs, is he?
I'll take it.
You what?
Me crust.
Just listen.
I have. Most of the afternoon.
Wouldn't let you land that thing in New York.
Oh, what we really need is him doing his lawn on one side and Pratt doing his bushes on the other, all at the same time.
Bushes? Bushes? They're ornamental shrubs. He's not one of your Wednesday half-day gardeners, you know. He's a topiarist. Capability Pratt.
You get more like your father every year.
You could stick, my old man.
Yeah, well, one in the family's enough.
It's the neighbours, they bring out the worst in me. Miss Brenda.
Oh, she said she'd drop in.
Oh, yeah?
Well, answer the door then. Oh.
Oh, look. Left your helicopter on the lawn.
What racket is illegal?
As long as they don't frighten the horses.
He sounds cheerful enough. How are you, love?
I'm not going to answer. But how are you?
Oh, not so dusty. I brought you the evening paper.
What?
According to the newsagent, there's 3 back, but 2 more out.
Huh?
Strikes.
Oh. Well, that looks pretty.
Can't smell the mothballs, can you?
No.
I'm determined to get a bit more wear out of it, even if I freeze in the attempt.
My God, not another one.
Seems a bit pointless.
Destructive and typical.
So how long's this been going on then?
Oh, ever since they moved in. Almost 2 years.
What else has he done?
Lots of things. Individually, they sound trivial, but they mount up.
Well, tot 'em up for me.
Well, for a start, they play records half the night. Then they fight. Such lung power. Such language. He blocks the front up with that car of his. I think if I hadn't been here this afternoon, Sergeant, he'd have taken the place apart.
Why did you do it?
I honestly don't know.
No, I mean, why today? Why not yesterday, the day before?
I've no idea. It's all part of his paranoia. That's the only word I can think of.
Have you tried to stop him?
Sergeant, look at me. I'm not exactly built for brawling.
Well, I don't suppose if it had come to it, he'd have attacked you.
Well, you don't know him. I tell you, I'm terrified of the man. He's violent.
And that's why you didn't come downstairs?
For that very reason.
You got a sweet tooth?
All those calories? No. I'm a teacher. They're for my cookery class. A Sheldon girl faces life with more than the 3 R's.
What about a Sheldon boy?
They're victimizing me, Sergeant. You've no idea. They've even poisoned my cat.
Cat?
I did report it to you for all the good it did me.
Oh, Miss Sheldon, with the best will in the world, there's nothing we could do about it. I know it sounds bad, but that's the law. There's nothing we can do.
So as far as you're concerned, I just have to sit here. I mean, how much of it do I have to take?
Well, if you try getting on with him.
Oh, yes. Well, the day they moved in, for instance, I made a pot of tea. I said, welcome, anything I can do.
And what did they say?
It was as if they thought I was spying on them. You know, these days, the common courtesies... No, it doesn't help.
Miss Sheldon, you live here alone. I mean, it seems a shame. An able-bodied man next door might be useful.
Not that man.
Well, your fence blows down, frozen pipes, some of that sort.
I'd rather put my trust in yellow pages. No, Sergeant, I want to live my lifestyle, not theirs.
Yeah. Well, that sounds reasonable.
So, tell me, what can I do?
Well, I'm just suggesting a friendly solution.
And if that's not possible?
Then, if you must, you exercise your legal rights.
Why do you say, if I must?
Well, a private prosecution always involves a certain amount of risk. I mean, if it fails, then the accused can bring counteraction for damages.
I see. And how would I go about that?
Instruct a solicitor and conduct it privately through the courts.
There's really nothing you can do for me.
No.
The police, I mean.
No, we can only intervene in cases of aggravated assault, theft, something of that nature. I mean, if he kicks your door in, we could have him under the Criminal Damages Act, but that's all. Look, unofficially, I can have a word with him. Tell him he uses loaf. Will that help?
Well, anything's better than nothing.
There you are, madam. Oh, bless you. That feels better. Seems to get greasier than ever.
Shall I put it away?
No, leave it on the table. Oh, I couldn't bear another session under the dryer. And another round of... How long is it now, Mrs. Smith? So it's the first time I've carried through the summer. Must be mad. Stark raving.
And how's Ken, I don't hear you ask?
How is he?
How much has he told you?
Smithy?
Oh, don't pretend. It's painful enough.
Oh, not much. How much is there to tell?
I've seen her with him a couple of times, that's all.
Her?
Oh, come on, Bet.
Well, who is she?
Susan. Susan Farnham. Works at Red Hills.
What does she do there? Any idea?
Oh, yes. She's a production supervisor.
Oh, I thought that was a man's job. Chasing up things.
Usually is. You see, I've been checking up on her. Snooping around, asking questions. Isn't that awful? Then I meet Ken, and neither of us has the guts or the nerves to say anything about it. It's pathetic, isn't it? Bloody pathetic.
Same again, please, madam. One more, Phil, and it'll be what the cobbler threw at his wife.
You're had enough, my boy.
What the cobbler threw at his wife. Do you get that? The last. Cobbler, wife, last.
It's time to go home.
Ain't you people got no homes?
You'll be in no shape for work tomorrow.
What work?
You and all.
Yeah.
Tell you what, I'll buy you half, then will you go?
You don't get that about the cobbler, do you?
Yes or no?
I ain't proud. I'll accept a drink off anybody. Even you.
Thank you for the lift, Mr. Kelleher.
Pleasure.
Good night.
Oh, before you go, Miss Sheldon, can I offer a word of advice about the meeting tonight? Some of these parents, you know, they can often speak without thinking, often say, well, you know, now don't sleep on it, it isn't worth it.
I've no intention of doing so, Mr. Kelleher. I'm just old enough and arrogant enough to think that I might know best.
Good for you. See you tomorrow.
As ever.
Good night.
Good night. Oh, it's you. What do you want? Haven't you done enough damage for one day?
I'll get stuffed.
All right.
Your friend Miss Sheldon's been on again?
Not a day, is it? What is it this time?
Oh, she was just back from some PTA meeting. Found she'd been done. Burgled.
Coincidence?
Well, she don't think so.
Oh, but she doesn't. What's missing?
Oh, some silver.
No rest for the wicked. What were they, teaspoons?
6. Victorian, present from my mother.
Silver?
Oh, yes, solid.
And tea service, you said?
Over here. Cream jug, sugar bowl, that sort of thing.
Solid silver?
Yes.
Any idea as to values?
Well, not really. See, they weren't things I bought. Family heirlooms. Have you seen something, Sergeant?
Might be a fingerprint, probably yours. I'll get a man over from Nembra.
Oh, I am sorry to be so much trouble.
Oh, don't apologise. Now, don't touch anything, will you?
No.
And jot down a list of everything that's been taken.
Yes.
Give it some thought. Amazing how often people forget something.
Oh, no. I must have left it open. I'm sorry. That was careless.
Yeah. Now, you say you met Graham as you come back?
Yes, he was coming round the back of the house.
Do you talk to him?
Not exactly. I just said, haven't you done enough? That sort of thing. Little did I know.
Were you carrying anything?
It was dark. I couldn't really tell. He could have been.
Oh.
What's the matter, Sergeant?
Well, I've never heard of anybody stealing something and taking such pains to advertise the fact. Victorian silver, it's not that easily disposed of, unless you're a pro.
Oh, I don't think that's the reason he took it.
No?
No. It was to hit at me. Something that was precious to me. He's a thoroughly vindictive person. He even said something this afternoon about teaching me a lesson. Oh, and there's something else I should mention. I think he'd been drinking.
And Ken's still out there, is he, with Miss Hosepipe?
Yep.
What did he do it, eh? What happened to live and let live? Tell him I'd like a word when he gets back, would you?
Yeah, right.
$200 to control.
Yes, Ken.
Harry, I'm still outside Miss Sheldon's. Get on to Nembra, see if they've got a fingerprints bod they can send over.
Will do.
I'm still waiting for this Graham fella from next door. I'll get... Hang on. This might be him now. Mr. Graham.
Oh, yeah?
What's that mean?
Seen Miss Sheldon, have you? Been bending your little pink ear, has she?
I think it might be an idea if you come down the station with me.
What for?
Just to iron out 1 or 2 points. Don't object, do you?
Why should I? Amenable sod, even if I say so myself.
From the 1st to the 4th division in 4 seasons. Huddersfield Town did the same, didn't they?
Used to be Harold Wilson's team.
Yeah. Doesn't say much about him now, does he?
They don't talk about him much either. You been over to Northampton this season?
No. I'd rather watch proper school kids.
Smithian.
Upstairs.
Holy, take Mr. Graham to the interview room, would you?
Yes, Sarge. Follow me, sir. Whoops.
Cup of black coffee might be welcome. Barry Graham, see if anything's known, will you?
I'm sorry, love. I ain't that careful. Oh, I'm the one who should be sorry. No, don't get up. Oh, I don't think I can. As soon as I get comfortable, I slip off.
I'll probably see you Thursday.
Why don't you wait? Let Smithy run you home.
I made a resolution. I'm not waiting for any more policemen. Still, something's got to happen. At least that's what I keep telling myself. I don't know. Good night, love.
Brenda, don't you know, don't do anything you regret.
Bit late for that. You should have told me 10 years ago.
Take care.
And you.
What are you then, some sort of bomb pot?
No.
Make you feel big, did it?
Not specially.
So you went on the booze. Celebrating, were we?
No.
What then?
I felt pissed off.
You work at Red Hills?
Did.
Another batch of redundancies.
Ah. All out in the rampage, are they?
They're only told a day.
You're well briefed. You're not going to puke, are you?
No.
Only we got a rule, see, if you're going to throw up, don't do it in the interview room. Tell us again what happened.
Again?
What else have we got to talk about?
I went home, saw this notice on the car, and I flipped. I was a fool, I admit it. I realised that.
And?
I went round there.
Straight round?
Does it matter?
It matters.
Straight round.
Only if this ever gets to court.
Court?
That's what I said. Some joker in a wig's going to split hairs about provocation. You type to cool off, premeditate that it's not provocation.
I went straight round.
You shouted at her,
Yes.
rung her doorbell,
Yes.
and you went round the back to the kitchen.
Yes.
Inside the kitchen.
Yes.
Do you go in the sitting room?
No.
Not this time.
Not any time. What does that mean?
You ever been in there?
Of course not.
Do you know what's in there?
Why should I?
Curious. So. Then where'd you go?
Back into the kitchen.
Back in there. Oh, you had moved out then.
What I mean is...
That's right, son. Take your time. Get it straight.
You're trying to trick me.
Not trying anything. We wanted to trick you, we'd trick you. Get on.
I was standing in the doorway leading to the hall. Whether I set foot into the hall or not, I don't remember. I turned round, I started to leave, and I left.
Now hold it. You miss something. The cake. What about the cake?
Oh, yeah. The cake.
You're keeping something from me. I haven't heard about this.
I bit the cherry off one of her cakes.
You what?
I bit the cherry off.
Then what?
Put it back on the tray with the others.
That's funny, is it? You shoot water at people out of garden houses, bite cherries off their cakes, and you're not a crackpot?
Yeah.
Yes, you are one.
No, I'm not one. I was agreeing with the motion, that's all.
Huh? What do you do at Red Hills?
Planning office.
He's a white-collar worker. Kenneth, you didn't tell me we was dealing with the top management.
Well, my wife, Jean, she didn't like the dirt down the fingernails bit, so I go up the planning office. Stayed where I were, I wouldn't have got the chomp.
Tough.
So you left Miss Sheldon's, then where do you go?
I went to the pub, the Roebuck.
Then where?
For a walk.
Then where?
Back to Miss Sheldon's.
What for?
To say sorry. Remorse setting in.
She never mentioned it.
I never got that far. You ever tried to apologising to somebody like her? Knock you out before you can shake hands.
What time was this?
9, something like that.
And you met her coming round from the back?
Yeah, I've been knocking on the kitchen door.
Any lights on?
In the kitchen, that's why I
Then
was...
where'd you go?
For a walk.
Anybody see you?
How should I know?
Where'd you go?
Down by the canal.
Any caught and cobbles under the bridge?
I didn't get that
What'd you
far.
do with the silver?
Silver?
Her silver, spoons, cream jug, sugar bowl.
I ain't touched none of her silver.
You sure?
She reckons I nicked her bloody silver? Well, where is it then? What have I done with it?
You said you went down the canal.
So what?
So you could have chucked it.
Oh, for Christ's sake, why should I do a thing like that?
Bloody-mindedness. I can't have it, nor will you. See some of the break-ins we get called to. Nothing's stolen, everything's smashed. China, windows, carpets peed on.
I ain't a criminal nor a nut.
Ever been in Dutch with the law before?
No. Well...
Don't rush it.
All right, well, I expect you know anyway. I borrowed a car once.
Borrowed?
Pinched. I missed the last bus home, so I thought, what the hell, Sodom.
Sodom. I can't have it, nor will you.
I was a kid.
How old?
18.
Kid.
You mentioned something about teaching her a lesson.
Did I? Maybe, don't remember.
Be a nice way of doing it.
What would?
Pinching her silver. Some of us were precious to her.
I didn't steal her silver.
You're a vindictive little bugger.
Who says so?
She says so.
I say so.
You know, she even accused you of poisoning her cat.
Yeah. And I carried the torch for Guy Fawkes.
Did you say come all the way from Edinburgh?
That's right.
Seems such a long way to come.
Ah, don't worry. He's used to it. You know what they say? You get a better class of criminal at night. Ta.
Mr. Ridgway said... Oh, is it Mr. Ridgway?
Sergeant, actually.
Oh, I'm hopeless at ranks. So which is higher, an ordinary sergeant or a detective sergeant?
Well, they're the same, really.
Seems logical. One lump or two?
2, please. One's CID, one isn't.
Oh.
No, I can't put my hand on it just like that.
Yeah, we noticed.
But I know we've had calls from her before. I'll go through the archives and check.
Right then, what do you think?
No, he's a spiky bugger, but I don't know. Then again...
So then again's that matter?
Yeah, he's under a strain, lost his job, stolen a fool.
Over 10 years ago.
What about the cake?
Well, you're not going to pinch him for nicking a cherry, are you?
Sexual undertones.
How do you mean?
Well, you know.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. You know. I mean, the cherries are the... you know what I mean.
I don't know what you're on about. Do you know, Harry?
Well, you know, the cake is the... and the cherries are the... Yeah, all right.
No, it's too subtle for me. What's she like, this Ma Sheldon?
Not like that for a start.
How?
Well, gentle, I suppose you'd call her.
Oh, yeah. How old?
45 top weight, maybe less.
Here he comes, Finn of the North.
Oh, it's turned Parky.
Prince?
Not a one.
That's it then, I'm off.
Well, what do we do about Graham?
Send him home. Where's his missus?
With her parents.
Tell her about it, see her reactions.
What about neighbours?
Might come up with something.
You can go home now, Mr. Graham.
Does that mean it's all over?
For tonight. Constable will give you a lift.
Oh, I'd rather walk, thanks.
Where can we get in touch with your wife?
Wife?
Yeah.
Well, what's it got to do with her? Why bring her into it?
Well, it's just routine. You don't tell us, we can soon find out.
She's over at Nembra with the folks.
Are they on the phone?
No.
What's the address then?
60 Pinewood Road, name's Thompson.
Who do you think it were? Your local friendly rapist?
Might have shortened his career if it was.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to defrost the fridge.
What, this time of night?
Oh, it's one of those things I always forget, defrosting the fridge, topping up car batteries. Sit down, help yourself to a drink.
One for you?
No, I've got one in the kitchen, thanks.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Just spent the evening with one of the men who works at Red Hills.
Oh, who was that?
Graham, Barry Graham.
Oh, I know him, from the planning office. Nice boy. Bit impulsive.
So we're learning.
Oh, he's got some push, though. Came up from the shop floor. Ken, you remember the night we met your friend Smithy in that pub? One of the first times we went out together. Where you asked me how long I'd put up with skulking around in backstreet pubs. Something like that. And I said I'd let you know.
And you're letting me know now?
Well, you meet someone you know's involved, well, maybe you should back off, but... Well, it's never like that, is it? So you... Oh, I don't know. So you get involved yourself.
Look, love, if things were right between me and Brennan...
Yeah, that's right, Ken. That's what I told myself. That's the excuse, if you like. But I've played second fiddle before, and I didn't like it. I thought maybe I could do it again. Well, I can't. Have you spoken to her at all, Brenda?
No.
Well, that's hardly fair, is it?
She didn't know.
Of course she knows. Look, do you really think you can cover these things up?
No.
You want shoving, Ken. Well, I'm shoving you. It's not fair on her, it's not fair on me. Keeping the home fire burning, the spare toothbrush in the cupboard. It might be all right for her, but it's not all right for me.
I don't know. You just sort of drift on, hoping things will work out.
Yes, you and her, Ken, but not you and me.
So you want me to talk to her?
No, you do what you want to do, Ken. Think about it. Do it. Then when you've done it, tell me. But do it, Ken.
Right. Sit yourself down, Mrs. Graham.
Barry at work?
I should think he'll be at home, sleeping it off, if I'm any judge.
Like that? Silly fool. He's the world's worst. A couple of wine gums.
Well, won't keep you a minute.
Well, what's the verdict? He's your average run-of-the-mill man in the street.
Yeah, me too.
Not a villain, not a saint.
Sawed up that old woman's elm tree for her.
Question is, did she want it sold up?
She did.
Shall we try another one?
Well, I don't see much point, do you?
No, nor do I.
Thank you.
Relax. Sugar in the saucer. What have you been doing? 2 days holiday?
Not really. Went home to me mum.
Oh, like that.
To think a few things out, you know.
You and Barry aren't married, are you?
No.
He refers to you as his wife.
Oh, yes. He thinks of me as his wife. Certain formalities have not been observed, as they say.
You gonna marry him?
Don't know. That's one of the reasons I went away. I was prepared to be a wife. I ain't so sure about being a mother.
What, does that mean you don't want kids?
Means I don't want my husband as one of them.
I see. At least I think I do. He obviously misses you.
Oh, he would. He's his own worst enemy.
How do you mean? No, it might help.
Help him or help you.
Might even do both.
Oh, Barry doesn't know what keep you cool means. He's flat out of feet up, that's him.
So, what's your verdict on Miss Sheldon, then?
Looks as if butter wouldn't melt, right?
Right.
In fact, she's an old cow. She's an interfering old cow.
How? I mean, how does she interfere?
She's forever rapping on the walls, spying on us. You know, if we're sunbathing in the garden, anything like that, you know, she's up at the window, goggling. She lops the branches off the trees if they grow over her wall, always on about her light, or laburnum's killing her lawn, or the corporation couldn't collect her leaves because of Barry's car. You know, it's one niggle after another.
So you're not surprised he blew his top?
Not really surprised he didn't do it before.
When you first moved in, didn't she try to strike up some kind of friendship?
You should have seen her. She knew what come out of that van better than what we did.
Oh, like that?
Nah, poor old devil. Should feel sorry for her, I suppose. Some man left her in the lurch and she's been taking it out on the world ever since.
Were she left in the lurch?
Oh, well, people who know her say it's true. It was a doctor from Northampton General, emigrated to Australia with a nurse. Now, a double bed and somebody to share it with, most of her problems would be solved.
You rent your house, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's another bone of contention. Owners care, renters don't.
You ever been inside her place?
Once.
What do you think of it?
It's a museum. Most of it belonged to her parents. And she really ought to have a wedding cake covered with cobwebs with mice running in and out on it.
Still turning the hose on her, I mean, bawling her out. What do you think of that? I mean, you can't pretend you approve.
Well, no, but I'm not going to sit here and knock him.
Trouble is that while this were happening, some silver was stolen.
What, some of her silver?
Yes.
Oh, I see. So that's why I'm here. It's not just for the domestic.
Yeah.
No. No way. He's a twit. He's a lovable twit at times, but he's not a thief.
Not even the heat of the moment?
No. Punched her, possibly. Sworn at her, certainly. Put a brick through a window. I believe any of those, but not stealing.
Is there anything that would change your opinion?
Well, like what?
Like the fact that he's lost his job?
Has he?
Yes.
Oh, never raised, does it?
Or the fact that he's done it afore?
Well, he's done what before?
Stolen? You nicked a car when you were a kid.
First I've heard of it.
Perhaps that's not all you don't know about him.
Well, it was a short morning.
Just wanted to drop this in. Do you know you get your dry cleaning done cheap if you're an OAP?
So, what'd you tell me for?
Thought we could get your mum to drop it in for us.
Oh, lovely. But on a power plane or a cards for her beef coupons.
Just a suggestion. You know, take care of the pennies.
You worrier, I tell you.
Make yourself useful, school teacher. Miss Sheldon, North Road Junior. Ever come across her?
Sheldon? Oh, yes, I know her. At least I think I do. Pretty. Straight back. Slight.
Who do we know I could talk to about her?
North Road? Oh, Harry Kelleher. He's your best person. Deputy head.
Knows you, does he?
Ought to. Went out with him twice before I joined the force.
Elderly type, then.
Bastard.
I don't really like this, you know, Sergeant. Telling tales behind a colleague's back.
Well, look at it this way, Mr. Kelleher. You're helping to fill in the background. People's frame of mind at the time. It's amazing how often it affects the course of action.
I'm sure that's true. All right. What can I tell you?
There was a PTA meeting, I understand.
Correct. In fact, I took Miss Sheldon home in my car.
Was that usual?
No. No, to tell you the truth, I think I felt sorry for her.
Why was that?
Well, I'd heard about this set to with the villain next door, then the meeting itself was a bit of a disaster.
Huh? How come?
Well, Miss Sheldon's a disciplinarian, believes in standards. She's a damn good teacher.
So what happened?
Well, this will go no further.
Of course not.
Well, a couple of the parents made a set at her. A few excited remarks got passed. People forget in the heat of the moment. A lot of hurt can be done.
I take it she got the worst of it.
Very unfairly, I thought. How can you understand children if you've got none of your own? That sort of logic.
I got two, I don't understand either of them.
Well, exactly.
So she was, what, sorry for herself? Feeling hard done by?
Something like that. It's been hanging over us like the sword of Damocles for a couple of weeks or more.
And as soon as you dropped her, she walked slap bang into Mr. Graham, her neighbour.
I think that's all she needed. Another session with that ruffian.
Oh, you're back. Well?
Blown it, ain't ya?
Always the bad news brings them running, innit?
How many times? Tell me, how many times have I told you? When will you grow up?
Now, don't you start.
She's been waiting for a chance like this.
All right, all right.
It's not all right, it's all bloody wrong.
Yeah, well, perhaps if you'd been here.
If you had been more reasonable, I would have been here.
Now, for God's sake, don't let's start with another row.
I really wonder about you.
You ain't heard the worst.
Oh, yes, I have. I think you nicked some of her silver. Well?
Are you asking?
Yes. Like you stole that car, maybe?
You know, I don't know why you bothered to come. You hear that? I nearly said home.
Nothing much use there, then.
No.
She told you a cat was poisoned?
Harry checked. The big complaint's going right back to the time when the Grahams moved in.
Any pattern?
Too early to say. Henry O'Brien, the vet, did an autopsy on poor pussy.
You're kidding.
No.
And?
No trace of nothing.
I talked to the council. They had a report about Graham's car.
Man or woman?
No one can remember.
Too busy reassessing my rates. What about Mrs. Graham?
Pretty level-headed, unemotional sort of girl.
Told her about the silver?
Of course.
And?
No way. Her exact words.
And she's hardly likely to shop him, is she?
She pointed that out.
Hello, stranger.
Fancy a drink?
Why not? want me to say it for you? You think I didn't know? Give me a bit of credit, Ken.
How long have you known?
Ever since we went to look at that house.
What house?
Our house. The one we were going to live in, remember?
Oh.
Oh. You should have seen your face. You look like a drowning man.
Well, that's not true.
No? You should have seen it. Oh, God, you're useless, Ken. Useless. How will you even leave this to me? Well, she'll push you, I tell you that. Exams, promotion, or else you'll see.
Been checking up, have you?
Well, isn't this one of your haunts? It's a small town. For Christ's sake, people talk. You should know that if you know damn all else.
I'm sorry.
Sorry? Do you think you can go from 4 or 5 nights a week to 1 or less and I wouldn't notice? Be your age. 10 years, what do I get? Sorry.
What'll you do?
Do?
Yeah. Yeah, you know.
Oh, you mean, how will I possibly survive without your dynamic personality? Is that what you mean?
No, you know what I mean.
Well, I shan't walk under the first bus, so that's an end to your worries.
Oh, Brenda.
I said to myself, Brenda, be dignified. Then I see you sitting there dumb as a post. All I can tell you, Ken, is life's gonna change. You won't know you're born.
Two alike, that's our trouble.
Good an excuse as any. Too alike, too different, too old, too young, too... Take you 10 years, did it, to find out? Oh, go away.
Look, Brenda, can't we just...
For God's sake, go!
I'll give you a ring then, sure?
You bloody fool.
Well, I can't talk to you, can't I?
Sure. We play gin rummy every Christmas, just the 3 of us. I'm always good for a bit of babysitting.
You know I didn't mean...
Just go.
Well, Sergeant, what about our crime?
Yes, what about it? I'll tell you what I propose, and then you can tell me your thoughts, all right? If you can't get on with the Grahams, I suggest we call in the welfare people.
The welfare?
It's their province. As Sergeant Ridgway told you, this isn't a police matter.
Theft isn't a police matter?
Last night, when you got back from the PTA meeting...
Yes.
Not the happiest of occasions, I understand.
Have you been spying on me?
Oh, just asking a few questions, that's all. When you got back, you bumped into Mr. Graham again.
Yes.
What would you say if I told you he'd come round to apologise?
Oh, no.
That's no answer.
I'd say you were a lot more credulous than you look. Apologise? That man? Well, sorry isn't in his vocabulary. Ask that woman of his. I hear enough of their sordid squabbles. He's an animal.
And what I'm suggesting, Miss Sheldon, is that last night's clash was the result of the meeting of 2 people in a highly emotional state.
I do not get emotional, Sergeant. The whole pattern of my life is a testimony to that.
Him because he'd lost his job, and you because of this unfortunate PTA meeting.
How dare you?
If what you said's true, this man could go to prison. Do you realise that?
The ideal place for him.
On the other hand, if it isn't true, that would be perjury. Courts don't take kindly to perjury, Miss Sheldon. In fact, it can be as much as a 7-year sentence.
Are you telling me, Sergeant, this is the end of your inquiries?
That's my recommendation, yeah.
Well, I can assure you it is not the end as far as I am concerned. I shall continue with my own personal prosecution.
That's your privilege.
Preservation of standards, Sergeant. Isn't that part of the policeman's job? Hundreds of years of civilization being walked over by these yahoos? Oh, no, Sergeant. No, it's time that people like me took a stand. These days we're all far too busy. Abdicating our responsibilities, feathering our nests. I will not be a party to it.
I admire people who make a stand, Miss Sheldon. All I suggest is that you ask yourself whether you're making it at the right time and on the right issue.
Oh, thank you for your concern.
Few spring cabbage will go well there.
You reckon?
Had knocked them down with the missus.
How do you know?
That's when my garden gets dug.
Oh.
Fistful of blisters and a good soak and a hot bath, world looks a different place.
You been to see Miss Sheldon? What about her silver?
Misplaced it more than like.
Evil old cow.
You want trouble, son, you keep on like that. You keep away from her. Ignore her. Better still, start thinking of someone other than yourself.
So that's the end on it, you reckon?
I reckon. Attractive woman.
Yeah, in a way. They reckon all her trouble started when some doctor jilted her.
What you trying to say? You can see your Brenda turning into a Sheldon?
Look, all I said were that she...
Come on. Now listen, Kenneth. This is going to come as a terrible shock to you. But you're not the only pair of pants in England. She'll get over you soon enough.
You don't know her.
Lay your pound a penny she's married by a year this Christmas.
Brenda? Never.
Let's see your money then.